Well, it's been a while. 5 months, it seems. It was March of this year that I posted that I was noticing time was moving differently. And sorry if I keep looking away from camera. I'm used to looking at myself. But I don't want this to be a portrait video, a phone style. Something I have been noticing a lot, both sides of a coin. Social media, specifically TikTok, has what I would say is exponentially more Christian content than it did a year ago, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. I've been on TikTok since about 2020, right about the time we all went remote. And I created an account so I could comment on things, the sea shanties and the lip sync stuff and all that. I started making videos. And the left has lashed out many times. But Christ is moving. He's calling together his people. And Satan isn't happy about it because more and more people are abandoning their fleshly desires and turning to Christ. And every single person who does is one more he can't drag to hell to gloat when they realize he lied to them and they fell for it. I've mentioned a few times. Dante got it wrong. Satan isn't at the deepest circle of hell defecating people out as they're tortured. The fallen who fell with him are not torturing people. They're not ruling hell. They're inmates. The TV show Lucifer or the Netflix series The Sandman, both based on the same comic series, they got it wrong. Lucifer isn't in charge of hell. And no, he won't become a therapist in hell to help you escape. There is no escape. But that's not where it stops. If you look at modern movies, and I'll use two as an example, the Infinity Saga, specifically the last two, Infinity War and Endgame, or Justice League, they're mocking God. In Infinity War, you have Thanos, a Titan. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 introduced us to the Celestials. And the Disney Plus movie, just released there as far as I know, Eternals, furthered that. Basically, you have Galactus, Ego, and others. But in Infinity War, you have the Titan Thanos, who, of course, is the only one who understands things well enough to know what to do. And they're not directly calling him God because he has to put together the Infinity Stones to be able to remove half of all life. Now, I will say that is one grave thing they screwed up going from comics to screen. In the comics, and it's been a while since I read Infinity Gauntlet, but one in the comics, Nebula kills him and takes the gauntlet and uses it. That I can excuse, but he doesn't remove half of all life in the comics. It's half of all sentient life. If you look at Endgame, when Hulk reverses the snap, Clint notices there's a tree with butterflies and such around it that wasn't there before. If Thanos removes half of life, he removes half the crops, half the livestock. He doesn't solve the problem of overcrowding and being underfed. He just makes half the people suffer it. In print, they did address this, and he removed basically half of all sentient life. So we still had livestock, we still had crops, and now half the life is competing for that. And you see the people vanish. And there have been some, and I don't really agree with this, but I could make the argument, I could make the stretch of an argument, mental leap to argue this. that basically Thanos was the Rapture, and all those who had been blipped went on to the afterlife, and Hulk, removing them, ripped them from it. They also at least glossed over one glaring thing of, well, what if a woman vanished but her 8-month-old baby in the womb didn't? Well, woman vanishes, plop, killed someone else. Pilots, train conductors, bus drivers, engineers and such. A lot of other people died. They didn't address that because that would have, Thanos didn't put that much thought in it in print either. But that also, the fact that it could be your airline pilot, your railroad engineer, your bus driver, your taxi driver that vanishes in the rapture causes other problems for you. Again, I don't think they did it purposefully. I don't think they were mocking the rapture. Justice League, on the other hand, I feel directly mocks the Trinity. You have the mother boxes. And at the end, as Victor is pulling them apart with Cal's help, they definitely show humanoid shapes. It shows an eons old, powerful figure from another dimension, dark side, with parademons. And it mentions cleansing a world by fire. And that is exactly what the Bible says will be the next judgment, fire. God promised Noah and his family he would never again judge the planet with water. The next will be by fire. But this is kind of the point. As Christians, we were told long ago, Christ himself said it. He said, as the world first hated him, it will hate us too. He said, in this life you will have trouble. People will continue right up until the end telling Christians, you're just brainwashed, it's just there to control you. Well, first of all, no man-made religion would tell people that you need to shun your physical desires. If it was purely man-made, it'd be, go out, drink, smoke, do all the drugs, have all the sex, do all you want. Christianity says the opposite. Secondly, if you're so sure I'm wrong, if you're so sure that it's all fake, why do you get so angry that I refuse to bend the knee and let you control my thoughts? See, I don't hate liberals, atheists, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, Sikh, Hindu. I don't hate them. I disagree with them. I have a fair few people that I enjoy a good debate with, knowing that we disagree on a lot of things. But when we're done with the debate, we go out and have a burger, or we go out and watch a movie, or we talk about comic books. We enjoy each other's conversation, in part because those debates challenge us. They challenge us to do more research. Disagreement is not hate. That is the one thing I wish that I could convince people on this planet of. I mean, yes, I wish I could get Democrats to quit saying, you are not a Christian if you don't do exactly as I say, and hate the people I hate and vote as I tell you to vote. I didn't tell anybody, you're not a Christian if you voted Democrat. I have been very vocal in voicing my disagreement with Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Tim Kaine, Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom, J.B. Pritzker, all of them. I disagree with all of them. I don't hate them. The most recent debacle for the left, the Sydney Sweeney thing. If you look up the Brooke Shields Calvin Klein commercial from the 1990s, it's almost identical. It's a blonde-haired woman who's extremely physically attractive, extremely curvy, moving in a way that catches your eye because it's very provocative as she talks about the jeans she's wearing that she wants you to stare at, while she talks about genetics. Nobody said boo. Nobody's getting upset as they're having people post the Brooke Shields content as a reply to their crying about Sydney Sweeney. And I've brought this up. The very people who scream, "You're being controlled by religion," want to control you. The very people who will happily tell you, "God is not loving if he won't let me break all the rules and still get all the rewards." They demand you follow all their rules or get no rewards. They demand that you surrender all thought to them. Hobby Lobby never said they would not hire people who have had or might later have an abortion. They said Hobby Lobby as a company won't pay for it. They said their employees are individuals. Their employees are free to think, act, and believe what they wish to. But Hobby Lobby will not financially support abortion. And the left went insane, ordering everyone to boycott Hobby Lobby and crying when Hobby Lobby made a lot of money. When Dan Cathy was asked his personal beliefs, or Phil Robertson, his personal beliefs, the left went absolutely nuts, demanding that because they didn't like an individual's personal beliefs, no one could buy from Duck Commander. No one could eat at Chick-fil-A. But when Bud Light pulled their stunt with Dylan Mulvaney, and I was several months sober at the time, and I told people, I don't drink. And one of them said, "No, we know you drink, just not Bud Light." I said, "No, I'm actually several months sober. I don't drink." And I actually had a person tell me, "Then you need to go buy a 12-pack of Bud Light and give it to someone." Because their mindset is, if I don't like a company, no one may do business with that company. If I like a company, everyone is required to do business with them. It all boils down to, I'm in charge, I rule the world, you will obey me or else. And when you tell them no, they cry and whine and they will attack, as they scream that you're trying to control them by disagreeing with them. This is all exactly the world that Christ predicted. As it was in the days of Noah, so too shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Men will be lovers of self, lovers of pleasure, lovers of money. It will be Satan's paradise. People will be rejecting God right and left. Far more will end up separated from God than will end up with him for eternity. And it is your choice. But your choice does not allow you to censor me. If you liked Justice League, Snyder Cut or not, I actually enjoyed watching both, although Snyder was tiring watching that long movie. If you enjoy the MCU, I enjoyed watching it up until it got political. I don't care. But you're not free to tell me that because you liked the way they portrayed those movies, that I'm not allowed to point out that I see some of it as mocking God. You're not free as an atheist to tell me that because you're atheist, I can't be Christian. Because somehow my refusal to be your slave offends and oppresses you. You're free to scroll on. You're free to block me. You're free to ignore me. And I'll end with this. There's a very simple truth. And I'll use an example before I really boil it down. If you and I are sitting in a house watching a movie, and I tell you, you know what, I'm going to go out back and smoke, but within seconds I'm back on the couch and I look a little rattled. Now, if you ask me what's going on, I tell you, man, there's a big rattlesnake right outside the back door. Do not go out that door. If you do go out the door and get bit by the rattlesnake, that's on you. I warned you and you ignored me. But if I'd sit down and go, no, nothing at all, just changed my mind, and you go outside and get bit by the rattlesnake, that's on me. I didn't warn you. It is your choice to have a relationship with the Creator, with his Son Jesus, or not. God is a just and loving God. When everyone stands before him, if there is someone who has never heard the message of the gospel, they will not be asked, did you read the gospel and accept it? Because God knows they never were exposed to it. Now, in this day and age, that's virtually impossible. But if I don't tell you, and then I see you in that line being sent away, and you look at me and go, "Why didn't you tell me?" That's on me. If I tell you and you reject it, it's on you. I would rather offend you so much that you start thinking and asking questions so you can make a choice than affirm you into believing your choice is the ultimate thing and it will rule your eternity, because it will, just not the way you want. So, you're free to tell me I'm wrong. You're free to mock me, and I'm free to ignore you. But when you start using your free speech to tell me I'm required to be silent, you will find yourself ignored permanently, blocked. Because your rights do not counter and trump mine. You don't like what I'm saying? You don't have to watch these videos. You don't have to talk to me. We meet in real life and you don't like what I'm wearing, you don't like what I'm saying, you're free to walk away. You're not free to control me. I'm hoping to start making more podcasts. I'm actually working on a project right now that requires a lot of research. But I'm probably going to talk about that research rather extensively because, well, I kind of figure things out as I talk them out. So until next time, y'all have a good day.